Welcome to this edition of English News. I'm Kate Mary. Here are the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Out of the total indigenous people population in Jiribam, about 70% of population of non-indigenous people found during JCILP's survey. Now the news in detail. About 70% population of non-indigenous people have been found out of the total population in Jiribam during the drive of JCILP in collaboration with leader of indigenous people living at Jiribam. It came to light when a joint survey team conducted a drive at different places in Jiribam. Yesterday, a special meeting was held at Ningshinkol, Jiribam, with the presence of leaders of JCILP and indigenous people living at Jiribam. The special meeting has resolved unanimously that until and unless the ILPS is not implemented in the state, the movement for implementation of Inner Line Permit System ILPS will be continued. Convener of JCILP Ibotombi Kuman, Convener of Women Wing Nganbi, Convener of Students Wing Angamba and leaders of different indigenous people took part in the meeting. A large number of non-indigenous people have been found staying at the local ghat in between the border of Manipur and Assam independently during the survey. The survey team met ADC Jiribam and additional SPO Menjor and discussed about the matter. Speaking to media persons, Convener Ivotombi Kuman said, on the surface ways, the committee are trying best level to stop influx in the state. The maximum number of non-locals influx inside the state through waterway. He further said the Barak Ghat is the main center where the non-locals get inside the state and habitat freely. Besides, they even franchised their voting rights in Manipur, he added. He drew the attention of the authority concerned to look into the alarming situation there and control it in time.
Border soiba hitang pam che masi mai mga gumba koi thinga jare ju hai ba hitang pam mai mga sida de command to da koi ge jili gi thong ge sida leba foreigner check post leba asigi check post asida di check kha to bi di ayu ke masung ma to ba matam sine check to ya adubu haliba border soiba hitang pam sing asida di yam freely kai ba thung ba check amata leitana mai maning tamna tang ba pot puk silak ba thun ba mi thung ba ade mi top sing asina mafam se changa ko da kai ba thung ba mata leita ba sina maram mar kan da si jeri da apoi ge demographic imbalance thopage asoba saru amani hana.
On the other hand, additional SP Jiribam O Menjor said, under the directive of the state government, the police personnel in Jiribam are trying best level to control and prevent such influx of non-indigenous people with round the corner. He further said if there is any loophole of the police has been reportedly found by the people may inform to him. The necessary strategies will be taken up in consultation with the authority concerned, he added.
Interstate ki passenger sing laiba mai bagi abaki business ki or company ki natraga studies ki laiba mayam sing asia ipina siek tawo matamda magi identity si proof tongna bo kona bula sam khara controversial oiba khatal hujing laiba matang yauri adu bai toina ayam matamda makai identity proof tongna ba electoral card kumba adigi mogi district administration ba identity card kumba natraga personal id card kumba natraga any government employee oibagi card kumba parpa simje koi se tawjei kari kumba da khara singna ba yawa singdo koina ma koi singdo pura drop tawraga halangi kusbe khaiba tare adu kai kuma matamda pucheng chengwa foreigner oiramgani kaibuna singba har patho be madu kuma legalize tawraga legiwa action da.
Deputy Chief Minister Gai Khangam has urged the mothers to advise those people who are disturbing and creating many hindrances in the developmental works taken up in the state. They will definitely listen to the words of the mothers, he said. He said this at the 4th Women Conference of Rongmei Naga Baptist Association held at Longmai Common Group in Tamenglong District yesterday. About 14,000 women came from more than 135 villages in Manipur, including about 6,000 people from outside Manipur took part in the conference. Besides, about 100 teams participated in a song competition held on the theme Excellent Women in Christian. During the conference, addressing the gathering, Deputy Chief Minister Gai Khangam said, women groups are very important in the Rongmai Naga Baptist Association. If the conference held after every 10 years will be helpful in bring about development. The movement started by Rani Gaidinliu against the suppression of the British government should not be forgotten by the present generation. A good mother can mold a good child and a good society. He urged the mothers to stop those people who are hindering the development works taken up by the government in the hills and valley.
Blessing subsol soidana leng tokloi subsol soidana Manipur leba sing tam animaka sana leba habdo adugumba wahan thok leba adugumba leba ama saho ngahomba watapadaba numaya ifaba nungsi sanaba amat to satam he sinba adugumba soidana leba adugumuni haiba 10,000 hen pulliba Imasi Pratna Singing Taroi, Leka Taroi, Ishon Tabikani. Socket posted on the point, we see at Taroi. The sick with up, Adumas, the knife had sung the Bayat today. Imasi said, Mama to the singer, Makwita, Makwit put the ladies up.
And now moving on to some national and international news. India today successfully test-fired its indigenously developed intercontinental surface-to-surface nuclear-capable ballistic missile Agni-5, which has a strike range of over 5,000 kilometers and can carry a nuclear warhead of over 1 ton from Wheeler's Island off Odisha coast. The 3-stage solid propellant missile was test-fired from a mobile launcher from the Launch Complex 4 of the Integrated Test Range ITR at about 8.06 hours, ITR Director MVKV Prasad said. Prasad told that the canister version of Agni-5 missile was successfully test-launched. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today hailed scientists for the successful test firing of Agni-5 and said the missile is a prized asset for the country's forces. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given his best wishes to all the athletes participating in the 35th National Games. The 35th National Games will begin today in Kerala. The opening ceremony will be held at the Greenfield Stadium at the outskirts of Thiruvananthapuram this evening, with cricketing legend Sachin Tendulkar as the chief guest. The competitions will begin tomorrow. The event will be held at 29 venues spread over 7 districts of the state and will end on the 14th of February. This is for the first time that the National Games are being held in more than one district. About 10,000 athletes, including officials, will take part in the games. In Tamil Nadu, 10 persons were killed and 2 persons were rescued alive when a public effluent tank at the SIPCOT campus collapsed early this morning at Ranipet, about 119 kilometers from Chennai. It is said that the effluent tank, which could hold a capacity of more than 2 lakh metric tons, collapsed due to overburdening of effluents from the tannery units at the SIPCOT. The walls of the tank and the chemical effluents with mainly chromic acid had engulfed the laborers who were sleeping at a nearby factory. One of the eyewitnesses who were awake told that the effluents were flowing like a tsunami and flooded the neighboring companies. An 11-year-old girl died today in Indore after being allegedly set in fire by a police constable yesterday. The girl's family is constable's neighbor. According to the police, Yasmin Khan had borrowed Constable Prakash Jarolia's bicycle and took it for a ride last afternoon. The policeman got angry after seeing Yasmin riding his bicycle without permission. Enraged, he beat her up and took Yasmin inside his home. A few minutes later, Yasmin was seen running out of the house with her body on fire, eyewitnesses said. She was admitted to the hospital on Thursday with 100% burns and succumbed to her injuries today. All commercial flights worldwide could soon send out an automated signal every minute in times of distress to help rescuers find downed aircraft more easily. The new measures are in response to last year's disappearance of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing in what remains one of history's great aviation mysteries. The aircraft with 239 people on board has never been found nearly a year on. The new tracking rules prepared by an industry working group would be phased in by the end of this year, said the International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO, a United Nations agency. The initiative will now be presented to delegates from all 191 ICAO members states at a meeting in Montreal from Monday to Thursday. And a final proposal will be submitted to the ICAO Council within 6 months for ratification. The Aam Aadmi Party AAP today released its manifesto for the February 7 Delhi Assembly elections, focusing on full statehood, women's safety and reducing electricity tariff. The AAP intends to enhance women's safety by installing CCTV cameras. The manifesto also promised to open 20 new colleges, a 50% reduction in power tariff, clean drinking water at affordable prices, and a free Wi-Fi zone, among others. Now the headlines once again. Out of the total indigenous people population in Jiribam, about 70% population of non-indigenous people found during JCILP's survey. Well, that's it in this edition. News and updates continues. Stay tuned and keep watching.